All right, I'm Paige DeSilvey, and I am the training coordinator here in the ECC. And I also deal with all of the hiring, so I'm kind of the hiring manager as well as the outreach coordinator, which we're not doing a whole lot of outreach right now because of COVID, but when we can, we do go out to events and try to recruit because that's what we're in need of right now is new employees. What we do is we answer 911 calls, and you can call us on 911 or admin lines. So we do answer cell phone calls that hit towers that are located in Roanoke County. And we answer those calls and we take the information and then we dispatch police, fire, and rescue. We deal with Benton Police Department as well as Roanoke County and then all of the fire and rescue stations. And we also take after-hour calls for Western Virginia Water Authority. We do warrants after hours and just got a lot of responsibility, lots of things that we do here.
So what I do, most people would just call a 911 dispatcher, but it's a lot more than that. I take 911 calls. I also take non-emergency calls for the county and all the agencies. I dispatch police for Roanoke County, the town of Benton, and then we also dispatch fire and rescue for that entire area as well. So at the same time I'm answering 911 calls, I'm listening to my units on the radio and the radio traffic and responding to them. But we do a lot of other things up here as well. We're entering warrants and protective orders and taking animal control calls and checking for stolen items and entering them and helping the public in many ways beyond just initial 911 calls.
First, we really need unique people. We need people that have flexible schedules. We do work 12-hour shifts from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And so we need somebody that's going to be flexible and understands that we work nights, holidays, weekends, all of the special events and things like that. So we need somebody that's going to understand that and be able to work the flexible schedule that it is. We also want people who are able to maintain their composure. Obviously, when you get high priority calls, we can't have you fall into pieces. We need someone that's going to actually be able to handle the stress of the job and then be able to think clearly enough to send out the appropriate help and what's needed on each call. And we really need someone who's a multitasker, and most people think they can multitask, but ours is more of a split ear kind of multitasking. So you're going to take information from a caller and be processing that information as well as listening to your responding units on the radio and be able to fulfill their request and to document everything as it goes on. So it's a lot to it.
Always looking for good quality candidates who understand that it is a challenging job. We do a lot. We have a lot of tasks that we take care of for other agencies and not just the 911 calls, but it's very rewarding. There's never a day I go home that I don't know that I haven't helped somebody. My units every day that I've been here have gone home safe. I've never had somebody go home injured. I've taken the calls where I've reunited a parent with their 3 lost children who wandered off and found the woman with Alzheimer's who wandered off and had gotten lost and couldn't find her husband. And so those moments are incredibly rewarding. It is a lot to do. You are taking stressful calls and answering the radio, and it's a lot of details, and you have to constantly be able to adapt and change and multitask a lot. But it's definitely a career I'm very glad that I stepped into, and makes me proud of what I do and the people that I work with.
What you would need to do if you wanted to apply is go online. It's RoanokeCountyVA.gov/jobs and then search for Communications Officer 1. And that will give you a little bit of the job description of what it is that you're applying for. Once you apply, the application does come to me and I review that. I will send out an invitation to test. We set up different test dates. And I will send you an invitation to test. You register by responding to the email and let me know that you want to come in. And once you come in for testing, we do several different things. We're going to do a typing test. You have to type 25 words per minute. And then we also have a 14-page composite history that we send you ahead of time. And so you've got identifying documentation that you need to bring in as well as the composite history on the day of testing. Once you get here, we're going to give you the typing test, and then we do a situational aptitude test, and we also do a vocational suitability test that day. Those will be sent off to Roanoke Psychological, where they grade those and send us the information back in a couple of days. While you're here and you're doing that type of testing, we're also going to do a critical test, which is a computer-based test. And while you're doing that, we run your background, your driver's transcript, as well as your credit report. And we review that and do a quick interview, just kind of an informal interview there, and talk to you a little bit, let you ask questions about what you're getting into, and just let us get to know you a little bit better. Once the grade comes back from Roanoke Psychological, then you would move to a background investigation. If that comes back clear, then we would have a manager's interview. We also fingerprint you, and then we have been doing the ECC observation. We're not doing that until you put in like a 2-week notice because of COVID, so we're trying to be real careful on who we bring in and how many people we bring in and stuff like that. After you do that, the Chief of Police for Vinton and the Chief of Police for Roanoke County both have to sign off on your application and your whole file and make sure that they approve. So we get their approval, and then you have a post-psychological exam and a physical, and then if you pass all that, then we offer you the job and give you, an opportunity to give a 2-week notice if you need one. We do have 4 weeks of classroom training, and so we do that, and then you've got up to about 32 weeks of on-the-job training, which means you're going to sit with one of our communications training officers, and you sit with them. They're right beside you. They're kind of like your shadow. They tell you exactly what to do, and as you learn, they're going to back off a little bit at a time to kind of give you the room to do what you've learned. But it usually takes, I would say, anywhere between 4 and 7 months to get somebody, in the door, and then get them to work on their own to be able to function as a dispatcher. And they do get a 5% increase in salary once they are able to work on their own. There is that incentive to get released pretty quick as you can, study as much as you can, learn the job as fast as you can to get that 5% increase in pay.
It is stressful at times. It is definitely, there can be a lot of calls coming in at once. I can have a suicidal caller that I'm on the phone with and trying to get them to hang on while I'm trying to catch radio traffic from a unit who's doing something else. And so you can have a lot going on at one time, and they can be intense situations that you're dealing with. But the stress is managed. It's you take it and you do the next thing, and we just keep working together step by step to get things taken care of.
It is. It's nice knowing that you can help people. Even though we're not there on scene, we still are able to help people just to get through. Most people don't call us if they're having a good day. They're going to call us if they're in crisis. And so we help them work through that crisis, and we get them to calm down enough to give us the information that we need to be able to give the responding units to get them help and to have the units actually get on scene and be able to handle everything that's going on.
The Roanoke County is a wonderful county to work for. I had researched lots before applying. There are things, we work long shifts. They're 12-hour shifts, but we only work 14 days a month. That's like 3 extra weekends every month that I have off. I have a set schedule and every other weekend off, and I can count on that and plan on that. The time off vacation-wise with my family is wonderful. And so there are a lot of perks for working for Roanoke County and for this 911 center in particular.
They can go online at roanokecountyva.gov/jobs, and they can look there. We do have our own page if they want to go to roanokecountyva.gov/ECC, find out a little bit more about us there. And then if they want to apply, like I said, go to the /jobs and apply for Communications Officer 1. That does give them a job description, kind of goes through what we're looking for. And of course, anytime they want to email me, it's p.desylvie@roanokecountyva.gov. They can email me at any time, ask any questions that they'd like, and I'll be happy to get back with them. And we want to be as transparent as possible to let people know what they're applying for, because it's not just a secretarial job. It's not just clerical like a lot of people may think. There's a lot more to it than that. And so any questions that people have, I'd love to be able to talk to them about it.
I'm settled in and very happy here. That's wonderful. Very happy.